Hello, hello, as everybody joins in. Hello, hello. Just letting everybody join in, guys. How are we doing? How are we feeling? It's a beautiful day out today. Nice. Is it Tuesday? I don't know, all my days are blending together at this point. Alrighty. Alright, guys. So, alright. Yeah, you can join and hang out here with me. Appreciate it. If you're new here, I'm Lane. I'm a certified life coach and hypnotist. I teach about the subconscious mind and how it impacts every area of our life. I also discuss things about thought patterns and identity work. So a lot of the topics that I relate this to will be around like a specific person, somebody that you're interested in being with or dating or having a relationship with. Doesn't matter if you've dated them before, if it's an ex or whatnot. So that's usually what I talk about in regards, because everyone is a mirror to you. They mirror your beliefs, if they know it or not. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and just hang out, So ask any questions if you're, struggling with, well, how can I embody a new state of being, a new mindset, and how can I let go of the past if this person hurt me or cheated on me or anything like that. Please share it down in the comments. Or if you're struggling with, well, they're with somebody else and they're acting like they want nothing to do with me, or like one of the comments I was just answering back on one of my videos is their person is being silent towards them, not answering them. So, it's about switching your focus from that person and putting it on yourself and the stories of what you do want, because your mind is going to continue to perpetuate stories that validate the wounds, the fears, the insecurities. It's going to reinforce that pattern, and then that's going to continue to perpetuate your perception of the life that you are living, to where everyone's out to hurt you, everyone like love isn't safe, people or women, men, whatever whoever you're interested in, always cheat and lie. That's why you experience those things, because your subconscious continues to show you what patterns you either want to hold on to or let go of. Does that make sense? Okay, so if somebody was addicted to alcohol and anything along those lines, again, it's showing you your wound, that you aren't enough. That's why you would attract somebody like that, or following other men, etc. So you have the core belief right there that you aren't enough, that everyone else is a priority, everything else is a priority. She's going to choose other people, she's going to choose alcohol over you, she's going to choose money and whatever over you. And if you start to actually shift that story and change your belief around being enough, consciously we might sit there like, of course I'm good enough. Subconsciously you don't believe that, and that's why you're experiencing this with her. So as soon as you start healing that core belief and changing the story around, she's an alcoholic and she's only there, if I got money, or she's talking to other guys, and you drop those stories and focus on a new version of her, a new version of yourself that does know that love is safe, that does know that she loves you and is always going to be there for you and chooses you, and that you are enough as you are, then that means that the experience that you have with her is going to change too, because your perception of your life will change. Your RAS system will filter out a new experience based on your beliefs. You hear my dog sneezing. But yeah, so that's why a lot of these things happen in relationships. And it's usually from the belief of not being enough, right? I mean, that was my core belief that I really had to work through. And I used hypnosis to work through that, and nervous system regulation practices, along with self-talk and switching the stories that I was telling myself, about other people, about relationships. And then that's how I was able to, transform my life and have healthy relationships and attract more healthy partners. Let me see here. Your ex had PPD and left me again. Okay. I mean, again, you can go into that story that they have this mental illness and, they left and it hurt. And again, it comes down to the belief that you're not enough. Right? That's why they're not choosing you. That's why they left. The fear of abandonment is an underlining tone there. So you have to drop the story that you have around them and the diagnosis that they have. Drop the story around the way that they treat you. Drop that fear that you have around being abandoned or forgotten or, again, being left. And start focusing and putting your attention on the story of what you do want, even though right now, and from your past experience, that's not what you are experiencing or have experienced with that person. But as soon as you change the stories that are going on in your mind and your belief systems and your identity, your subconscious mind, your RAS system, has to filter out a new experience to you. It has to. So like what I say in every live, there is different hypnosis techniques that people can do. And one of the examples I use is there was a hypnotist on stage, and she took a person out of the crowd, and just a random person, and sat her down, put her into a hypnotic trance, and told her the husband that was sitting in the front row was no longer there. He had gotten up and left. And even though he was still sitting in that front row, the hypnotist made that suggestion, and the person that was hypnotized listened to that suggestion. Her eyes could not perceive her husband in the front row, even though he was there. Could not perceive it. Then she was given another suggestion by the hypnotist saying, "Oh, he's back." And then guess what? She can now see him again. That's how powerful the mind is, because the RAS system took that belief, oh, he's not there, so we're going to pretty much make it invisible, can't see it. And, then change it back. Oh, no, he is there. There's the belief, he is there. And now, again, you can see him. So the same happens whenever you are experiencing the unwanted. Your RAS system has been told stories and beliefs, suggestions from yourself, right? Or from previous experiences, as to why somebody treats you the way that they treat you, why they abandon you, why you're not enough, why they're choosing other people over you, etc. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And that's why you experience that version of them. But if you were to give yourself different suggestions, or if you were to work with like a professional like me with in hypnosis, and I give you the suggestions that we choose together, then that's when you will see a different experience. Your perception of your life will change. The way that they treat you will change. And you're not changing them. You're literally just changing your belief systems. You're changing what your RAS system is going to show you, your filtration. Does that make sense? How can you manifest a new life? Already being that person that has that new life. Like, what would your new life entail? You see Dexter, he hanging out. What would your new life entail? What does it look like? And start to contemplate that. Who are you living this new life? What would you be saying if you are already living that new life and you're looking back like, wow, I made it. Life is completely different. That's what you need to start embodying. That's how you change your life. Is thinking differently, feeling differently, believing in things differently. Okay, alright. Sorry, I'm just reading. Thank you for the gifts and the hearts, guys. I truly appreciate you. Alright, so if she has you blocked, we have to take your focus off of being blocked. Yeah, so if her location's on, that's a good sign, right? But you're going to drive yourself crazy if you're constantly looking at it and checking. But again, if you want to get unblocked, focus on the version of you that is already in the relationship. How would you be thinking, feeling, and acting? You wouldn't be checking her location all the time because you'd have security in your relationship. You'd have trust in your relationship, and you honestly would not care where she's at and what she's doing. As far as being blocked, you wouldn't be worried about communication with her because obviously you would be in open contact with her if you're in the relationship. So that's what the identity and the beliefs and the stories that you have to focus on if you want something to shift. You can't continue to focus on the shit that you don't want and expect your subconscious to give you anything different, because that's literally what you're focusing on. You just need to let go. Yeah, I mean, once you start actually doing the internal work, you will naturally let go. And you'll also have what you want. It's not just letting go and moving on with your life and never getting what you want and, you know, dating a new person and then experiencing the same shit with them. Yeah, so again, even if she doesn't know that you have that information, you're gonna drive yourself crazy having it, because I'm sure, because I know I would be checking all the time. That's why you have to either deactivate it or do something, or just have the willpower to not check it, have discipline. Sometimes though, we're stubborn and we can't. Dexter, what are you doing? Sorry, my dogs are outside with me. Appreciate it if I would elaborate. So, okay, let me elaborate on it. So, naturally you would let go, because if you already had what you wanted, if you were already in the relationship, right? Mentally, emotionally, would you not already be in that same feeling of detachment? Because you'd feel secure. It's kind of like, so if you have a car and you park it in a parking lot and go into the store, you're not worried about it, you're not stressing about it, right? You know that as soon as you come out of the store, you're going to hop in your car and it's going to be there, right? Because you have that sense of security, that sense of knowing, that sense of trust. So it's the same thing. Or how about with your best friend? If you were to call up your best friend right now, you know that they're going to answer or get right back to you. You're not sitting there fearing, oh my God, what happens if they don't answer? What happens if I lost my best friend? You don't do that, right? Because you have a sense of security, a sense of trust, a sense of detachment. Oh, they'll get back to me. I ain't even worried about it, right? So the same thing happens when you're in that state of, I'm in the relationship, I'm secure in my relationship, even though nothing physical has changed. You have to embody it first. You have to be it first. Think it, feel it, You'll take action from that point of view, that version of you, and have the beliefs from that version of you. You'll naturally start to detach. You'll naturally just let go. Not that the desire won't be there, but you'll just move different. You'll think different about it naturally. Does that make sense? Oliver. As far as tricks or advice, there's a whole bunch of different things that you could do. I prefer to go the route of hypnosis because that's working directly with the subconscious mind. I do self-talk, so I question myself. How would I be thinking if I already had what I wanted? How would I be feeling if I already had what I wanted? What would my life look like? What would I need to believe in? Who would I be? What would be different about me? Like maybe in my personality, in my point of view. And I start asking myself all of these questions. What would the relationship look like? What does our communication look like? Are we living together? What's that like? And I start to contemplate and get my mind focused on that version of me, that life. And because I'm doing that and putting focus on that version of me, version of them, and version of that relationship, it takes my focus off of the unwanted, and it will start to now program my subconscious mind and then have a different experience, because my filter will start to change. I'm focusing on all the good, so of course I'm going to experience all the good, all the love, all the happiness. So those are two things. And then nervous system regulation practices to help clear out that fear, to help regulate yourselves, because sometimes emotions come up, and to keep yourself mentally on track. If you're doing things like breath work, which that's what I prefer, your mind will go all crazy. I'm sure it is already. It's racing, right? So breath work will help quiet the mind. You are welcome. I'm so happy I was able to help. Doesn't that say more about her? No, it has nothing to do with her, right? She's only showing up in accordance to who you are embodying. Again, if everyone is mirroring back your experience to you from what's going, like your internal experience is being a reflection in the external, she will change as soon as you change. As soon as you change your beliefs, your RAS system, your reticular activating system, will filter out a different experience. It has to. You get what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with her. Her whole demeanor, behavior, thought patterns, and everything will naturally change because your experience of your inner world is changing. Your beliefs are changing. Okay. Again, guys, thank you for all the likes. I appreciate it. All the likes, and for just hanging out and being here and asking really good questions. What can I encourage you to do? Alright, so if you have a strained relationship with your daughter, again, you have to put the focus. Specific person doesn't just mean romantic. It can be for anybody. Like, I've manifested changes in some of my closest friends in a positive way. Sorry if you hear my dog. We're hanging outside. But anyways, so we have to put a focus on what we do want. So if you feel you have a strained relationship with your daughter, you are only going to experience more strain because that's what you're focused on. That's what you're believing in. And as we know, our beliefs, then our RAS is going to filter our beliefs, and that's going to be your experience. So we have to change the stories that play in our mind. So I'm sure you're thinking that she's probably never going to talk to me, she'll never forgive me, and I know I made mistakes in my past, and I can't believe she's doing this to me. Doesn't she know that I love her and she's not even answering me? You're probably going on with all different types of stories. And the more that we focus on those stories, the more it's reinforcing those beliefs. I'm not enough. I fucked up too much. And just all of the different things, right? That would cause a strained relationship. So if we change the story and we start observing our thoughts, we start observing, okay, I get it. That is one past that I experienced because I had beliefs that, caused me to act that way, to treat my family that way, and cause the strain between us, right? If you can sit with that and be okay with it and just let it be there and observe it and then decide, what's the new story that I want? If I could have it all in an amazing relationship with my daughter, where we were communicating, hanging out every day, or at least talking every single day, and having a loving relationship, what would that be like? How different would my thoughts be? What would my thoughts look like? How would I be showing up? What would be different about my life? What would we be doing together if our relationship wasn't strained and it was healthy and happy and loving? You start to contemplate those things. Again, you're starting to put focus on what you do want, which is then going to impress your subconscious mind with new beliefs, new stories, new experiences. Okay? So you have to drop the old story, the old identity, and embody a new one, putting focus on it. That's all embodiment is putting focus on the new story, thinking, feeling, and then taking action from that point of view. And you'll naturally just start showing up that way. You'll naturally just take action. It won't feel forced. You won't be questioning yourself because you'll believe in yourself. And you'll notice a change naturally in the relationship with your daughter. Either she will reach out and a discussion will happen to where both of you, apologize to each other or whatever. I don't know the exact dynamics of how everything went down to where it is strained, but a conversation will happen to where it's understanding on both parties, and then it will rebuild into what you do want, that story that the new story that you're entertaining in your mind. Does that make sense? I need to forget her. It's too much. Well, you're more than welcome to. And that's up to you. But if it is somebody that you find like you just know deep down in your heart that's your person, then, you can change the story. But you have to change yourself. It's not about changing them. But, if you're done, then of course you can let go and move on. People do it all the time. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. I'm so happy I was able to help. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, advice to manifest an SP. I got you. First, it starts with you, understanding that you can do it and believing in yourself. So the first thing I'm going to say is nervous system regulation practices. Things like breath work, because your mind is going to be all over the place telling you all the ways and reasons why you can't manifest, why this person doesn't want you, why you're not enough, all the history and story between you guys. So nervous system regulation practices is going to help calm that mind and calm your nervous system out of fight and flight and back into safety. And then it becomes a lot easier to put your attention and focus on the stories of what you do want. Another thing is observation of thoughts. So again, like I said, you're going to have all of these crazy stories of your ego throwing at you of the history, the way that they treated you before, and maybe the things that they said before things ended, or if you've never even dated them, the reasons why they're not going to choose you, how they have other options, maybe they're seeing somebody else if they're not answering you and they want nothing to do with you, all of these stories, right? You observe them without attaching any meaning to them. And because you're observing and not attaching meaning, it allows them to just go. You'll notice that you can't control your thoughts. They come and go as they please. So the like a split second you could think about, did I unplug the coffee maker? And then you carry on with your day, and then you forget that you even thought that thought this morning, right? because thoughts are constantly coming and going. It's not our job to try to tame them or switch them. It's just letting them be there without giving any meaning to them. Oh man, because I thought about them being with somebody else, and that means they probably are with somebody else, and means if they never come back to me, means if they find somebody and they get married, and your mind will go down rabbit holes if you give in to those thoughts. Instead, if you just observe them, just let them be there. All right, that's a thought. That's not what I prefer. That's an ugly thought. And then you ask yourself, well, if I were in the relationship and I had my specific person and things were amazing between us, the best relationship I've ever been in, they treat me with so much love and respect, they cater to me, it's kind of like I'm a princess to them, our communication is on point, like we're constantly talking, and it's just everything I've ever wanted. You start telling that story, right? You'll notice that for one, you feel safe. You'll start feeling secure. You'll start feeling a shift within yourself. Your body will actually start to receive the new suggestions that you are giving it. Naturally, then what happens is your focus starts to be put on other areas of your life because it will feel like it's a done deal to you. You'll feel detached. You'll no longer be trying to do techniques or self-talk or visualizations or whatever technique you decide to get you into that state. The visuals will just come to you because you'll be in that state. It's like you're recalling a memory. Does that make sense? So that's how I go about manifesting specific people. Yep, so if you want to manifest her back, be the version of you that already did it. That's already, I don't know, like a year in the relationship from now. Things are amazing. You already overcame this obstacle. What would you be thinking if you already did that? Or if you guys were married? How would you be thinking, feeling? What would be different? What would your life look like now that you guys are back together? How's the communication different? What things do you do together? Are you living together? What does that place look like if you do live together? What's it like to pay bills together? What's it like to take her out on dates? What kind of dates would you be taking her out on? How would you be treating her differently, or how would she be treating you differently this time around? Start to contemplate those things and put your focus on that. Do you have to affirm all the time? No, your desire will find you. Maybe at first you'll feel like it feels good to do so, because you'll notice when you go from a state of like lack and a state of negativity and these shitty stories, it feels good to entertain something new. It feels good to even think about what a relationship would be like. Even if you don't believe it in that moment, you'll start to believe it because it just feels so good to play in your imagination. And then obviously those moments start to impress into your subconscious mind. So no, you don't have to affirm all the time. You'll also notice, like, you'll be living your life and all of a sudden a thought of them will come up into your mind, and you might, feel like doing a technique. The desire will come to you, and you'll know when you need to fulfill it or not fulfill it. Kind of like hunger comes to you. You know when you're hungry and when you need to eat, and when you're just thirsty and you're not ready for a meal. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It will come to you. You don't have to force anything. But when you're not doing a technique, the main thing is observation of thoughts. Are you still entertaining old stories and attaching and running wild and going down a rabbit hole with them? Or are you observing them and letting them go? Because you'll notice the thoughts are going to come and go. But if you're entertaining them, then they will stick around. Then that's when you'll start going down the rabbit hole of all the reasons and excuses of why this isn't going to work, and you know what I'm saying? So it's your job to make sure that you aren't going into the red zone and you're at least staying neutral. And then when the desire comes up and you feel like doing a technique, it feels right to you, that's when you tip the scales towards the new state. So do's and don'ts when you're with a fearful avoidant. You have to drop the label. Drop the label that they're a fearful avoidant, and drop the label that you're probably identifying with, oh, I'm anxious, right? Because those labels aren't serving you. I know I've previously made content about it, but it's not serving you. It's not serving them, because you're only going to ever be in that dynamic, right? They're always going to leave as soon as you get too close, and you're always going to feel anxious, or it's going to reach a point to where even if you work on yourself and you have that story about them, you're going to feel secure and then just want to walk away. Like, it's not serving anybody. So drop the labels and focus on the version of them that is a secure partner, a secure attachment style, and the version of you that is a secure attachment style as well. And two secure people coming together, what would that look like? What would it feel like for both of you to get close to each other, to be there for each other, to support each other, to be able to lean on each other, to be able to be vulnerable and communicate with one another? What would that relationship be like? What would that feel like to you? How would things be different? That's what you need to put your focus on. Then that's how you can have a successful relationship. E.T., you are welcome. Thank you for always being here. I love it. You're one of the OGs. I appreciate you. Thank you for the likes. Okay, guys. So on that note, I'm probably gonna skedaddle. If you did want to work together, again, I do offer hypnosis. Not that you need it. I do offer coaching in different programs. I have my 90-day guaranteed or breakthrough guaranteed program. If that's something you want to do, that includes hypnosis and coaching every single week, along with text help if you need it throughout the week before our sessions or after our sessions. So that's available if that's something that you did want to check out. But again, you don't need it. Everything that I share is already on the social media for free. If it's my TikTok, if it's my YouTube channel, all the information is already there. You can get my free self-hypnosis guide if that's something you want to do. I just offer services because some people want an extra hand, right? They want some extra guidance, some extra insight on their specific situation. So don't feel pressured to have to get anything, but it's there if you want it and whatnot. You're most welcome. I appreciate you. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go after that, and I'll probably hop on live again tomorrow if I got a little bit of time. But thank you for being here. Thank you for asking your questions. I appreciate you guys, and you got this. Tomorrow if I got a little bit of time. But thank you for being here. Thank you for asking your questions. I appreciate you guys, and you got this.